Welcome to Backstreet Gossip, news talk, current events, and political commentary with your host, Uncle Ronnie. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Well, thank you for the applause, and I really appreciate that. I'm here tonight with the lovely and talented Sue Wood from Scottsdale Studios, and I'd like to welcome you all to the show tonight. I want you to do a couple of things first. I want you to like this show. It's really important we start building up a big base here, and you can do that by passing this on to other friends, but of course push the like button, and that will get you it'll get you everywhere. We'll just be friends forever. Be my best friend. At any rate, we have off to the side, and not on camera, is Mr. Ray Michaels.
Hello, everyone.
We'll get him on later. He's in. There we go. We're gonna do this. We've had a couple of housekeeping problems here. So, at any rate, Sue, we have Sue here, and it's really important that we talk about this because over the weekend, Sue has this great channel. She's had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of views, and we're really excited for all the work that she's done.
That's right, Scottsdale Studios.
Studios, and then all of a sudden, poof, as if by magic, all of this disappeared.
Well, not only Scottsdale Studios disappeared, but all of Scottsdale disappeared as
Scottsdale
well.
is gone too.
They just canceled it.
At any rate, so Scottsdale Studios was just a powerhouse out here, and we're really sad that one of the things that has happened is free speech is not alive and well. There were people that if you put things out, they feel that it's their obligation to, if they don't agree with it, to take it down. And I remember years and years and years ago when the Tea Party first started, and I will not use the names because you know some of them. Some of them are big leaders in the Arizona legislature, but they used to take things and people would write on there and they would, I don't agree with that, so they take it down. And I said, no, that's not what free speech is about.
Right.
And listen, the one thing that is really important here, back in the 60s, yes, I was alive in the 60s, and Sue, I don't know if Sue was, but she read about it in the book. And, we had the Students for a Democratic Society, which were leftists, and then we had Young Americans for Freedom, which were conservative group. And we would fight like cats and dogs. We would just do all this arguing and fighting and actually demonstrating and all that good stuff that kids do when they're in their late teens and early 20s. And we had one thing in common, Ray. We all believed in free speech. And
it's so important. Free speech is there for a purpose because it creates thought and it creates unity eventually, but it gives free ideas that are out there. And Sue, Scottsdale Studios, you were instrumental in bringing a lot of the things to the public, and you would bring it out, and the next day, we'd be talking about something here. You would condense it down, and you'd get over 100,000 hits with Scottsdale Studio. But now you've been shut down by YouTube. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
Well, what happened is Friday morning, I got up early around 6:15, and I had a text on my phone saying, your channel's gone. I'm like, what? So then I went to my channel and it was gone.
So when you say gone, does it say, this channel has been removed, or it's just poof, there's no site?
Yeah, then I checked my email and it said, you are violating the community guidelines.
And what were the community guidelines that you specifically were violating?
That would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
Oh, you don't even know?
No, they normally don't
guilty.
tell you. They just say you violated the guidelines.
Okay, so you're guilty until it's just an arbitrary. You have
someone,
violated.
Someone has that authority.
And where's this person?
With YouTube people, and you.
Well, I have an idea of how it happened, because later that day I got a call from the Arizona Capital Times or one of those groups.
Right.
So I already knew they were left-leaning, so I was a little bit wary about the call. They said, hi, we noticed your YouTube channel got shut down. And I said, yeah. They said, do you know why? And I said, Oh, maybe because I exposed ABC 15 that was zooming in on people's faces at the audit floor, and that they were violating people's trust. And he said, well, could it have been the article, the video you did about Jen Fifield of the AZ Central? And I said, oh, maybe it was.
So what article did you do specifically?
Well, the first day of the audit on Friday, she was in there as a, quote, observer, but actually she was in there as the press.
Sue, let's back up just a minute. We've kind of over jumped some of the things that you and I had discussed. Originally, the press was not to come into this venue, okay, and it was to be somewhat closed, and yet, again, with the free concepts, you want these things to be open. You want people to have confidence that everything is happening. So go from there, and you were telling me that there were some people that had made some meetings and they had some agreements.
Well, when I first saw the zooming in on people's faces, I really got alarmed. So I tried to find out what was going on. So I called different phone numbers till I found out there was some agreement made between the attorneys for the press and the attorneys for the Senate, where they were allowed to bring in a photo camera, a video camera, and one reporter. Well, everybody knows you can zoom in. Those cameras are high-powered. They could zoom in on the ballots, on the fingernails, and everything. So I thought, wow, this doesn't seem right. So then I did a story about it.
Okay, so there's a purpose and intent for the press to be in there and for them to report on exactly what's going on. There's a purpose and intent. But when you have somebody from the press go up to somebody who has not authorized them to go up to and show them and show the viewing public their face, their information, their name, what exactly they're doing, go and see the actual ballot that they're looking at, I think that goes far beyond the freedom of the press.
I would agree with that, and Sue's the one who noticed this and had brought it forward. And again, with the concept of First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom
Of the press,
of
yeah.
press, there are limits.
Yeah, but if you go back to the Jen Fifield story, she got in there as an observer on Friday morning, the first morning. So they were working the kinks out. Everything wasn't. So all the observers are told NDA, and they have to put their phones in their lockers.
Non-disclosure agreement, an NDA.
Put
And
the
the
phones in the lockers. So what is she doing? She's live tweeting the whole time. She's in the room, then she runs outside and tweets. Then she goes back in, trying to discredit the auditors.
So she went against the agreement that she agreed to.
Well, now I've heard that the NDAs weren't official till the afternoon, that maybe they missed her somehow. But I mean, she knew, as she was live tweeting, that she wasn't supposed to do that.
Right.
So she goes on Rachel Maddow. She's now a hero, right? So my channel gets taken down, coincidentally maybe, from NBC, AZ Central, 12 News, the whole bit.
Wow, amazing. Now, I know, and I've heard through the grapevine, that some of these people that were caught on camera have now been threatened by other people around them. I mean, there's a reason why they didn't want to be on camera. These were volunteers giving up their time, their effort to go in there to make sure that everything was done properly, and now they're put at risk. That doesn't make any sense. Sue?
Well, what makes no sense at all is the FBI's arresting people that went to the Capitol on January 6th. If any of those people went to the Capitol, I would recommend they use a black shield, sunglasses, goggles, and a hat.
Yeah. So how can you be arrested because you showed up at the nation's capital?
Right. Well, Jeff Zink's son has been sitting in jail for 3 months now because he went to the Capitol with his father. Never went inside. Yeah.
Well, what happened to the innocent until proven guilty? Was there a crime committed?
Those days are gone. Unfortunately, here we've had some people come to the station here this afternoon and report that there are fewer and fewer people showing up for the audit now because of this very thing that Sue's bringing out. They are unhappy that their faces are being put on television and or who knows where they're at. And this is the problem, because this is not meant to be a witch hunt for people that are volunteering their time to do a public service.
But when does it become legal to photograph somebody or videotape them without their permission? When did that happen?
Well, I talked to the attorney for the press, and he said we don't have any agreement to not show the faces of the people. It's a public event. I'm thinking, I don't think it's a public event.
No, this is a volunteer that has, I think they have full rights to say, I don't want to be videotaped.
Well, I go back to the Senate. Where's their attorney? He should be hammering on them saying, okay, you're out of here till we get another agreement because of what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I would think so, especially if somebody's being threatened.
Yeah.
I mean, this becomes a legal matter then.
Well, you know, the issue here really becomes one, it's not a public event. This is a private event that's held by the Senate that the public is invited to observe under certain conditions.
Right.
Now, when I go to the Senate or the House, I sit in the gallery. I'm not allowed to sit on the floor with the people and take pictures of everything that's going on. And yet these newspapers, and now I've heard other stories that there are people that are coming in and sitting in the seats, and they're making so much noise that some of the people that are working, and I'm not sure exactly how they're doing it, but they'll say, you know, this vote here is for Trump, this vote here is for Biden, and the people are having trouble hearing, and they're claiming that a lot of those people, and who knows, I don't know this, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to give a disclaimer that some of those people were, in fact, state employees of the Secretary of State, was what I was told.
Well, now they've got 3 companies that are being represented that Katie Hobbs brought in there, and they're all leftist organizations that are there to observe.
Well, now, Sue, you are kind of at the cutting edge of everything that's going on here. You have a unique ability to be able to edit down things where the average person can see it in a short period of time. And we thank you so much for that, because not a lot of people have that talent. What's going to happen with Scottsdale Studios? Your YouTube channel was shut down. You had hundreds of thousands of views. Where do they go to find you?
Well, it's interesting because I had phone calls. Emails, the whole bit for 2 days. People saying, where are you? I can't find you. I mean, the sweetest messages. I get up every day and look for your updates all over the country. Emails from Australia, the UK, just really rewarding. So I always had a Rumble account, which nobody went to, but it's Scottsdale Studios. Then I made up a new YouTube channel called Arizona Conservative News, but that's too generic, and you can't really find me. So I'm going to have to change. But hold on a second.
Okay.
So what we did was we do a search. So if you go to youtube.com and plug in Scottsdale Studios.
That's where I was just going to go.
Scottsdale Studios YouTube, you know what you find? ABC, NBC, CNN, CBS. They're directing my people looking for me to the mainstream media.
So they've replaced Scottsdale Studios and sent it to the mainstream media.
Yep. So they don't want
Wow.
the truth, they want the lies.
Now, the interesting thing here is not only has she been inundated, but we have been getting a lot of phone calls and that. And I hope for those of you that have called us and brought this to our attention, I hope you're appreciating this section of the show, because we're going to tell you how you can find what Sue is doing. It's really important because, once again, free speech is paramount in America.
Amen.
You don't have it in a lot of countries.
Now, what about Frank, right? I know that Mike Lindell has started a new one. I know it was a rough starting, as it is with most of these things. Have you been on to Frank? Are you on Frank?
I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured out Telegram either.
Okay.
A lot of people are on
I know.
Telegram.
I've done the same. I've not been able to put it together. But let's get Sue this thing. Where if right now, right after this show, if they want to watch anything that you have produced, and my hat is off to you, mainly because I don't have a hat that I'm wearing.
Not
But
anymore.
Sue and her husband are one of the hardest working couples I can even imagine. You know, save Liz Harris. The 3 of these people are unbelievable
Rock stars,
patriots.
yeah.
They are rock stars, and I'm just happy that we can do a little bit with them and for them. So, Sue, right now, the audience wants to know, where do they go to find your reports?
Well, we have rumble.com and Scottsdale Studios. Then my new YouTube channel. I don't know.
That's rumble.com. Scottsdale Studios.
Are you ready to rumble?
You know what's interesting? You had one of the earlier videos we did. Liz Harris brought a stack of her affidavits, and that video got deleted by YouTube. No evidence allowed. Remember, there was no evidence of irregularities because they deleted her video where she showed the evidence.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, all right, so Scottsdale Studios, so you go to Rumble. Have you thought about starting your own website where people can go directly there?
Well, I don't really have the expertise.
That would be
for that.
similar to what Josh Burnett,
Bernstein.
Burnett, but
Right.
Bernstein.
I don't consider myself on that level. I'm not that big time, but there's so many people that are.
Well, Sue, don't discredit yourself. You are remarkable in the things that
Well,
you've
you should
done.
see the network that we have. We have Doug Tenapple, we have Liz Harris, we have Behizzy, Nick Moseder. There's all kinds of conservative people out on YouTube, and they've all been promoting me, helping me get my viewers back.
Well, we hope you do get your viewers back. And if you want any updates, you can call us here at Hub Radio Phoenix, and we can keep you posted too if you want to find.
And the number is if you go to Hub Radio Phoenix on Facebook, the number is there. I can give it to you real quick, but the number is there. It's 602-677-1496.
Yeah, or you can stop down here too,
And
because
they can stop by the studio.
You also have some books. You have some T-shirts. You have a lot of things that you can meet.
That's true, and we
Ron
have
as well.
people here all the time that come by, and we've got a library that we have had overflowed with books over the years, and so you can buy some really, really super neat books for just dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, they would even beat the price of the 99-cent store.
Well, you know what one casualty is of my channel? Scottsdale Studios was a music studio where we had a lot of bands that we had recorded, local bands, some national bands. So all their demos were on my channel. So I
Oh,
had,
no.
Yeah, so like before the audit started, maybe back in December, I had 800 subscribers, but they were all musicians.
Right.
So all their stuff's gone.
So now, do you have backups for all of those?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, if you have that type of following, I would think that maybe just get a website and start putting stuff on the website.
Right. Well, I just fell into this political thing because I'd come over here.
Well, I hope you didn't get
and
hurt.
Our biggest.
She'd come over here and bug us, and then she got the idea that
Well, the biggest
She
celebrity
gets 'em-
was Farnsworth, Eddie Farnsworth.
when we had Eddie Farnsworth
Whenever he
on.
was on, it was like 300,000 views. Same with Mark Fincham. So
Yeah.
that's how we really got started, and I guess we were probably the only few people that were doing that.
And the work that they've done, it's unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
if I want to know what's going on, I always go to Scottsdale Studios.
I give Sue a call
I don't go to
late
the-
at night.
I don't
Hey,
go to
Sue,
the
do you know
news.
about this?
I don't go to the newsrooms to find out what's
Well,
going on. I go to Sue.
I have a guy in Wisconsin that sends me tips because he's a different time zone.
Right.
So he'll be sending me videos at 10 at night. I'm like, what are you doing? I was just going to bed, relaxing, and he sends me this like,
Well, let's hope that this new format, Frank, does well. Let's check into that. And Ron, I think you should be on that as well with Hub Radio Phoenix.
Well, I've already signed up for it, but I don't have it together yet.
Yeah.
Josh Bernstein and I talked a little bit about this today, and Telegram and Rumble as well. And
Yeah.
we need to diverse. And then we have, it's interesting, I got a call last night quite late from a podcasters out in L.A., and they know Sue's work. They actually know me because when I answered the phone, it says, "Is Uncle Ronnie there?" And, and I said, "Yes."
Are
And
you
they said,
sure?
"You're not going to believe the next one."
Yeah.
He says, "Uncle Ronnie there or Cousin Ray?" Cousin Ray? I don't know that we've ever called
Uncle
you
Ray.
Cousin Ray.
Uncle Ray.
So
From Hawaii,
anyway, and
Uncle
they're
Ray.
going to be our special guests on Wednesday.
Great.
Because they're coming down, they're bringing some of their stuff. They're going to go down there tomorrow. They're going to come here tomorrow afternoon. They're going to set up with us Wednesday afternoon. And we're also going to have, before we do that, we're going to have former Representative Anthony Kern here.
Oh, good.
And this should be pretty exciting as well. And he's been down there working.
I know he
He's
is,
the
yeah.
one they exposed.
That's right.
Yeah, somebody took a picture of him. That's how I know that he
And
was
the
down
reporter
there.
got thrown out for doing that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they were pretty upset. How dare you
Well,
take
you know-
away my credentials?
You know, here's the thing, and I know from being a photographer for many years, you know, people say you can't take pictures of that. And you say, oh, really? You keep clicking, and they say, no, you can't take any pictures. You understand? Yeah? Okay, I'll leave after you get all your pictures.
Right.
That's what they do, and that's wrong.
No.
I mean, what I did was wrong when they told me I should have obeyed. My point is I wasn't on private property at the time, so I thought, you know, I could shoot anything I wanted. But
I talked to a guy today from Michigan. He was one of they don't have the board of supervisors. They have a board of something else. And there's 4 of them. I talked to him today. There was 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. The Republicans refused to certify their election. So they got death threats. He had to leave his house. He had to go live somewhere else. His tenant was being harassed. So I interviewed him and I said, if you guys are going to do an audit, they're planning to use cyber ninjas. I said, you better get everything in order because their lawyers are coming after you. These same law firms, just like Katie Hobbs has these 3 leftist groups in there. I said, get ahead of it. Get your volunteers hired now. Get them vetted. You got to have volunteer observers, accounters. Get it done ahead of time because we're unfortunately behind the curve. Everything's being done like let's get a.
Well, a lot of the other states are going to learn from the good
Right.
points and the bad points that have happened during our audit as well.
That's what he called, and he said, "I've been watching you."
How we doing on time there?
well,
Ron?
we're going to wait just a few more minutes. I don't think. Let's see. I see somebody that's got a bald head over
you
there.
have your next guest, so I'll
And well, our scheduled guest for 6:30 isn't here yet.
so I'm
but-
done. I'm done, right?
You're done.
I'm a fill-in.
Sue,
You
I'll
know,
tell
it's
you
really,
something.
ladies and gentlemen, it's
I like
really
to be
funny.
behind the
It's
the
really
camera.
funny. This woman is one of the best videographers and one of the best reporters that you'll ever find. But she's very shy in
don't
front of
wanna
the
be on
camera.
Yeah, she wants to
She
be
likes to
behind
be
the
behind
camera.
the camera.
That's right.
And when she's behind the camera, she is really
She makes magic
sharp.
happen.
She does. She
Yeah.
finds out the true stories. We'll take a break here, but one more time, Sue, where do they go?
Rumble.com, Scottsdale Studios, or my new YouTube channel is Arizona Conservative News.
That's rumble.com, Scottsdale Studios. And I would recommend that you go there as soon as you can.
And do you have an email as well as if somebody wants
Yep.
to just stay in touch with you?
Yeah, Scottsdale Studios TV at Gmail.
And
All right, Scottsdale Studios TV at gmail.com.
the important thing here, ladies and gentlemen, is keep free speech alive. That's what we do here. And, you know, don't be surprised if one of these days we get turned off, too, because
Yeah.
it's really important that
And
ideas
free speech
are
doesn't mean you have to agree.
No.
You don't have to
As a matter
agree.
of fact, they
That's
shouldn't.
the point.
And it's to the point where everybody should finally reach a point where you say, okay, I can't agree to this, but I can agree to this.
And I can
it brings
respect-
out the best in society.
And I can respect where you stand. I may not agree with you, but I can respect it.
Okay, we're going to have to cut here. Sue, we really appreciate
Thank you,
Sue
Sue.
Wood and everything you've done for the
cause.
well, I'm not sure that we talk about the cause per se. Depends what the cause is. A lot of people have different causes, but free speech to me is the cause.
Yeah, just because.
And so we'll see you on the other side.